In this set of notes, we're going to talk about how do I write a quadratic function in all three types from a given picture. So I give you a picture of a quadratic here off to the side, and there's some key things that we want to identify on the picture. So the first thing I want to identify is the x-intercepts. So where does it cross the x-axis? And that's going to be at -4 and at +2. The vertex. So that's the starting point. So go all the way down here toward the bottom and my vertex. So let's see, that's an x-intercept. That's an x-intercept. This is my vertex. And my vertex is -1, -18. Line of symmetry. Well, line of symmetry would go through the vertex. So that means my line of symmetry is at -1. And then finding A. Okay. Finding A isn't really something we can do on the graph. This is something that we actually have to do some math work for. So what you need to do is you need to pick one of the two forms that we found A in, and that was either in vertex form or intercept form. Okay, totally your choice. I am just going to choose to use intercept form. So here's intercept form again. Y equals A parentheses X minus P parentheses X minus Q. So remember, P and Q are your x-intercepts. So this is my P number, this is my Q number. And then you have to have a random point to plug in for X and Y. So I'm going to use my vertex as my random point. So that's my X and Y numbers. So for Y, I would plug in -18 equals A parentheses X is a -1. If P is -4, when I write it in the parentheses, I have to write it opposite. So I have to write it as +4. My second parentheses, I have X, which is -1. And Q is 2, but remember you have to write it opposite since it's in the parentheses. So you're going to write it as -2. In the first parentheses, -1 plus 4 is 3. And in the second parentheses, -1 minus 2 is -3. A times 3 times -3 is going to give me -9A. Divide both sides by -9, and I get A to equal 2. Okay, so once again, you got to do your math work to find A. And once you have A, the x-intercept, the vertex, and the line of symmetry, all that fun stuff, we get to go answer all of our questions. So vertex form, if you don't remember vertex form is Y equals A parentheses X minus H quantity squared plus K. So remember we said A was 2. And we said the vertex was -1, -18. So now use that information and plug in for A and H and K. So Y equals 2 parentheses X plus 1 quantity squared minus 18. So remember, if it goes in the parentheses, switch the sign. Intercept form. Well, we just wrote intercept form down up above, but I'll rewrite it here. Y equals A minus parentheses X minus P parentheses X minus Q. So A is 2. And my x-intercepts are at -4 and +2. Let me double check that. Yes, they are. So now plug in for A, P, and Q. So Y equals 2 parentheses X, switch the sign, +4, X, switch the sign, -2. Done. Now, unfortunately for standard form, we don't know all the letters. So here's standard form. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Well, we do know a, yes. We don't necessarily know b, so can't really do anything with that. We might know the y-intercept, but still we don't know b, so that doesn't help us either. So what it says to do to find standard form is it says pick one of your other two forms, multiply it all out, combine all like terms, and make it look like standard form. So let's say you pick intercept form. So this was my intercept form. You would have to start by multiplying the two parentheses together. So if you remember the word FOIL, great. If you remember distributive property twice, great. But you're going to take x times x, which is x squared, x times negative 2, which is negative 2x. Then you're going to take 4 times x, which is 4x, and 4 times negative 2, which is negative 8. And then keep your a out in front. Okay, so now I'm going to combine like terms inside my parentheses. So negative 2x plus 4x is 2x. Then from here, I'm going to distribute my a. So I get my final answer, y equals 2x squared plus 4x minus 16. Now, what if you chose the other one? Okay, so let's say you chose vertex form. So y equals 2 parentheses x plus 1 quantity squared minus 18. Okay, if you choose this one, you have to remember quantity squared means you have two identical parentheses. Okay, so now FOIL or distribute. So leave your a alone. X times x is x squared. X times 1 is 1x. 1 times x is 1x. 1 times 1 is 1 minus 18. Clean up the parentheses, so you get x squared. 1x plus 1x is 2x plus 1. Now you want to distribute your a, so you get y equals 2x squared plus 4x plus 2. Then we have minus 18. And finally, you get to say, oh, combine like terms. So 2x squared plus 4x minus 16. And it gives you the exact same answer. So it doesn't matter which one you pick. Whichever one you feel more comfortable with, choose that route, whether it's intercept form or vertex. But pick one of them and go forth. And that's it.